Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rad DudeCast. I'm joined with Brendan Ayer, Anthony DeVito. I'm Greg Stone. We got a great episode today. Here it goes.
You have to be supportive in these trying times, man.
Yeah,
These ports got a mind of their own. I'll find.
Well, I'll tell you this. Those headphones are a joke. I mean, what are we looking at here? You just completely ripped that thing off?
Well, they're falling apart. Well, because I'm one of the earliest Bose adopters of the group.
Right. Of the group, yeah.
You know,
Nobody's impressed with my USB, with my LED lights. Nobody's impressed a lot.
Very much. I feel like you're in a Turkish lounge. I think I'm very impressed. What?
It looks like the ambulance finally came to take you back to the crazy house.
Yeah, but a cool ambulance. Like, hey, before we go to the psych ward, we're going to a nightclub first.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the EMT.
Yeah, Brendan. Yeah, man. That looked like you were all of a sudden you were transformed. I thought you were. It was hot tub time machine situation, and you were about to go through the sands of time.
We're recording like this. That's the end of the story. Okay. I've got an ad.
One thing.
Yeah.
Have you tried the power management settings?
Power management, you say? Let me type that in.
And no jokes about power management now, Brendan. I know you'll be tempted.
Oh.
What kind of jokes?
I don't know. You know them.
Those are your jokes, not mine.
That's yours, man.
Tell me about this. Now I'm mad that this guy's doesn't know the jokes. I'm so mad at Brendan for all these things.
Greg, now is not the time. We have to be supportive.
Don't tell me when I can and can't have feelings.
Okay, fine.
You're not my feelings master.
That's fine. That's true. But what I'm saying in this situation, fuck your feelings, man. You got to be a friend first, feeling second. And Brendan needs us right now. His ports have turned on him. No doing of his own. These things will shut off and shut on, turn on and shut off as they like. These bastards. Don't think I've never been a victim of technology. Every day I fight it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. What site is that from?
What site? It's from the Marvel Legends.
Yeah. Oh, we're on
the
movie.
Right. But,
no, we're not online.
What Build-A-Figure set?
No Build-A-Figure. It's just the movie series. So they're individually wrapped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Nice. I haven't seen those.
I've got some customs too.
This is that big ass pot?
Yeah, well, this is actually out of Aunt May's front yard.
That's not from Aunt May's yard. I know Aunt May's yard.
Yeah,
I have the whole series.
This is the front lawn collection from Aunt May, and this is actually the pot that you've noticed in the movie. It's for a ficus plant.
No, I have the entire Aunt May's lawn collection.
What scale is it?
That is, it's not in scale. Yeah, that's like 1/6.
100 to 1.
Oh wow!
Big.
100 to 1 would not be big. 1 to 1 is big. 100 to 1 would be less than Micro Machines.
Yeah, no, this is 2 to 1. 2 to 1. 2 to 1. And then I'm not even joking now. I also have these are the candles from Aunt May's bedroom. If you can see them, that's part of the Aunt May bedroom collection. These are actual size.
Brings back.
What just happened to my light? Jesus Christ. Yeah, Mike, we got nothing. Let's just record an episode like this. And
we're 8 minutes in.
Yeah, I'll kill myself tonight.
No.
What's that?
No, Anthony, I said we're not counting this. We'll start. We don't need to put people through the fixing of the computer section.
Sound off, dear.
How to?
Come on, Mike. I think Mike is a master at finding our voice within these things. So I would put no doubts to him that he can cut this up and create something that will go viral.
I'd like to apologize to all the listeners that my USB ports are down. If anyone knows how to fix USB ports, get at us. But really importantly, today, ladies and gentlemen, huge news. Huge news. The Rad DudeCast shop is up and running on Teespring. All new merch. We got shirts, ladies' shirts, tank tops, masks, sort of balaclava type stuff. If you want to rob a bank, stickers, all reasonably priced with the new wolf logo. You can select all your different colors. Mike, what's the link on that? You go to teespring.com/shop/Rad DudeCast. Is that correct?
/store/rad-dude-cast.shop. But we'll put the link up everywhere as well.
Yeah, we're going to have to put the link. Nobody's going to get there. Great. No, we made an impossible link to our store. We made an impossible goddamn link, but let me tell you, this stuff looks great. It's that new wolf logo you're seeing everywhere, and you see on your podcast player, or you see on the videos, and you can customize. Everything's going to be black when you look at the store, but when you go in and click on shit, you can get it in almost any color you want. It's fantastic. Mike didn't add thongs as I requested, but again, that's Teespring.
Yeah,
this guy, man.
We're not doing thongs.
We're
It's the
not doing
craziest.
thongs.
We're not doing thongs.
Why are we not doing thongs? I can't get a thong thing.
You can buy a thong. You can wear a thong. You can give a thong out to somebody. But this is not the thong podcast. That is not in sync with who we are as a. We're not at the Staten Island Comedy Club.
Yeah, man.
So Mike told me this is great news. Mike told me Teespring does not carry thongs yet. And
business.
Yeah, Mike had to say whatever to shut you up.
No, as the original
trying to get us to sell thongs. You lunatic.
As the original
selling thongs.
As the original constitution of the Rad DudeCast states, if one member has an idea, we go with that idea. So as soon as thongs are available, look out for those Rad DudeCast wolf thongs on Teespring.
I got an idea. No thongs.
Oh, we didn't foresee this in the Constitution.
Well, yeah, according to the bylaws, that has to stand. And I believe what's also in the bylaws is we've always entertained ourselves to be a democracy. So I am siding with Greg on this about no thongs.
Let me state my case.
We are not a bar in Long Island.
Let me state my case. My case. A,
please.
I'd like to get pictures of the ladies wearing the thong or the men wearing the thongs they buy from us. B. Okay?
I mean, let's just say it's
on.
A.
Yeah. It's A by a wide margin. And yeah, go Greg.
Go ahead.
Well, maybe we'll see this one at the same time. We mainly have guy listeners.
Doesn't matter. They get a thong for the lady in their life. Turn them on a little something extra when they get going there.
I don't care what you're about to say for B. I guarantee it's A, is what I'm going to say. Let's see what B could possibly be.
I'll tell you what B is. First of all, I got all sorts of lighting fucking problems with my USB port issues.
It's all been covered in the show, man.
I'll tell you what B is. Little Rock, Arkansas, okay? That's notoriously one of my top koozie markets, okay? I sell koozies there. I move koozies like you wouldn't fucking believe. They call me the koozie man in Little Rock, Arkansas. Last time I was there, the feature act, this guy's selling thongs. This guy's selling multiple thongs. He's got G-strings and standard thongs. Let me tell you something. Every single goddamn
feature act was
woman,
Hooters.
Every single goddamn woman that walked into that place walked out, walked right by the koozies. Their man was trying to buy a koozie. They said, "We don't need koozies. Get both thongs." I was sitting there going, "That doesn't even fit you, lady. That doesn't fit you." It didn't matter. They wanted the thong. They're thong crazy.
So I would argue that we are not an opener in Arkansas. I mean, sure. He's probably, I opened for a guy who did 45 minutes on being a redhead and sold 30 shot glasses after his show. We're not knife salesmen. Yeah. We are a podcast And yet it's hard to. It's funny too, like the guy who's like going down on a girl, and he's like, "Wait a minute, what podcast is that?" And that's how we get subscribers for our advertising.
That reminds me to sign up for the Patreon. Lick.
Reminds you to sign up.
I guess what we can say to the listeners.
The guy.
Right.
The thong issue is still up in the air, I guess.
Sure. We'll revisit it.
Oh my God, up in the air. Yeah. We'll table that for now, Brendan. Is that good enough for you?
Yeah, we'll have to table it for the time being. I don't see it as being ruled out entirely. You both have made some good points about what we're not. But I, on the other hand, have also made some good points. So hard to say who's right. Who's right, who's wrong? Who knows?
No one knows.
That is true. But if I could say, I do like the phrase thong crazy. As something.
If anything was going to get me, it was going to be thong crazy. Because I relate to a certain sexual madness.
Yeah. I love it. Well, you got to get down to Little Rock. They're thong crazy over there.
I mean, it was wild. And if you think I wasn't getting horned up to the max, just watching every lady buy a thong right in front of my eyes.
Right. And there leads another problem we run into. As three men in healthy relationships trying their best to keep their dicks in their pants. I don't know that I want to add to the pressure of anyone being like, hey, want to see this thong I bought from you? You're on the road with me, in the middle of nowhere, phones off. I prefer to keep this car going straight down Straight Avenue.
Yeah, well, see, Brendan loves to live on the brink. Whereas you and I'll get a picture like that. I'll throw my phone off a bridge. Cancel my plan.
My eyes go red. Instead of seeing money signs, I see horny signs. It's like a stop sign, but it says horny, and it's not red. It's green. It's go for horny. And so I gotta close my eyes and just go. Blah, 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 blah. That's why I carry a leash with me on the road. I just tie myself. I have to chain myself to a radiator like a werewolf.
You're like a Professor Lupin in Harry Potter. On a full moon, you've got to restrain yourself or take your medicine. Otherwise, you should start putting what's that stuff they used to sneak into like army guys' salad to make them less horny? Saltpeter, I think it's called. They used to unhorny people secretly.
Huh?
I have no idea about that. I'm gonna have to look that up.
That's a good thing for Greg to look up and to get the guy eating salads.
Yeah,
they double win.
Double whammy.
They also was a rumor. I don't know if this was true, but I got real hair problems today. I got hair problems, lighting problems, USB problems. For those of you listening to audio only, don't look at me. But there also was a rumor at my college they would put protein powder in the salad for the anorexic girls.
Well, that's I don't know, because that's just going to make them go more anorexic and believe that nothing they can do can help.
Good point. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I've only been eating salad and I'm kidding.
This thing is a myth.
There's saltpeter. And does Mike, does that decrease your horniness levels? Is that what goes on there with saltpeter?
That's what they would use it for, correct?
Yeah. So they put it into the military, they'd become killing machines, not fucking machines.
Yeah. And Mike, when you get your moment in the sun there, you can feel free to take it. Seize the moment. You don't have to just give information. To get horny? No, but Mike could throw a little flavor. Throw a little flavor outside of just the fact. And he normally does. I just don't want you. I want you to always, don't feel pressure that you gotta give.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly, Anthony. You don't know what you are enticing here.
Not saying.
Not with Mike. We've been down this road before with other human beings, where we say, "Hey, have a good time." Then all of a sudden, it's no longer the Rad DudeCast. It's no one gets to talk anymore.
I am just saying, don't treat that thing like a hot mic. But when you get on that thing, have a little fun.
You say that, and after every episode, I always call him and go, Mike, great job not talking today. Keep it up. You're on the line. Your job's on the line.
I would say this. I would say, look, we've had a string of good producers for the Rad DudeCast.
Oh,
I don't have. I would not say any of them were inept. The thing about Mike's a professional. This is Mike's job, and this guy nails it. He nails it every time he comes in, just the right amount. If you want to add a little spice, Mike. We don't have, but and Greg is trying to say, don't talk at all.
I'm saying, take the risk, Mike. Every word you say, your job's on the line. Your job, my career. If you say something that I don't think is funny, I might just quit the podcast. I might quit comedy. It's all over on you. Well, now he doesn't want to say anything.
Yeah, now Mike's living in fear. He's a tyrant. What I'm saying is, we ask the restaurant for chicken, and they give us chicken, but don't be afraid to throw a couple spices on there.
Well,
make sure it's chicken. What
are you doing? You're going into restaurants and just going chicken. And then you say, "Oh, they spiced it this time." No, there's specific chicken dishes, Anthony. You order exactly the chicken you want.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing. We're saying, give me the chicken that I asked for. And I'm not saying like if I asked for a chicken marsala, I expect marsala sauce. But if you wanted to put more pepper than others do on it, or vis-a-vis whatever. That's the food is intact, but the particulars, you dress it however you want. Give it your signature touch. That's what I mean.
And what I'm saying is, I have lots of food allergies, and you don't know what they are. So put some shit on there, but I might have a reaction. No, I'm actually, just to be clear, I love it. I mean, I'm kidding, but everyone knows I'm kidding.
He knows.
Just saying, say the wrong word. I cut you open like an Amazon package with my box cutter.
For those of you listening audio only, Greg has just
I said box cutter. They get it.
Unsheathed the box cutter on Anthony and threatened to cut him.
Well, I'll be honest.
This knife isn't for Anthony.
It's for Michael.
It's if Michael tries anything more than 2 sentences.
It is a fine box cutter, I will say. That is a nice.
Yeah.
A man who receives packages at the level
Brandon.
you do.
Okay. This guy's got backup box cutters. People would walk in and go, "No, must be another planned hijacking."
No, man, I got so many goddamn Amazon toys that I said I got to get a real box cutter. I got to get the life together here.
I'm sure that's the top of the line box. I think that's the best on the market. I bet.
Best one you can get for $7. That the only one they had. That's the best one you could get. That's the only one they had. And I'll tell you this, and just a little quick aside. I said, give me the one with the spring, because I want the spring to spring it back, because I one time tried to cut a box and like literally brought it right to my throat, but the spring kept me from opening my fucking carotid artery open. Guy sells it to me, goes, "Yeah, it is the one. No spring. I think you don't like me."
Well, be honest though. That would be how you'd want to go out, opening a package.
Yeah. Doing what he loved. Opening a package of wires.
Yeah. That's those little tiny, I mean, it's so short. Like if you don't get an artery, like it's kind of like how in prison, like they got to make like those tiny little pokers, as their shivs. And so it's like, when I watch a prison documentary, it's like, it's always just some guy that's completely fine. That's like, yeah, they stabbed me 678 times. Didn't hit a single organ. You're modified short with your knives, man.
Yeah, you get stabbed with a dull end of a toothbrush. Now, I'll say this, Greg, he had initial aside early on in the podcast, and then the lighting situation took that away. And then he's recently also had something to say. So we got a double whammy coming from Greg.
No, they're the same thing. But then I'd like to get into we have to get into today's topic, which I think is very important that we talk about. But I just want a quick aside, which is, I was on Amazon, was like last Thursday or something, and it suggested to me sexy woman's lingerie, and I was like, this is a weird suggestion, but I was looking at all those like half legs for a while. Remember I was telling you I was looking at like legs that were like, they were just like pocket pussies, but they were full legs. And I'm like, man, this thing remembers those. So I'm like, let me so I see this sexy lingerie and I go, I'm gonna get this for old Tita, right? It's like, all right, looks kind of stretchy. Make the purchase. Came this morning, 1/6 scale. So just to be clear on what I purchased was sexy lingerie for an action figure.
Yeah,
and I could do 1/12. This was 1/6, so it was even too big for my other ladies. But if you want to give your woman a complex, buy her lingerie that she might go, I don't know if I'll fit in it. Oh, are you 1/6 the size of a human? That's the only way you're going to get into this. So I had to bring it. I already brought it to the post office and returned it. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I just look at so many, I guess, toys online that it was like, oh yeah, we know what you want. You want 61/6 scale fucking lingerie.
Now, there's some interesting questions here because either this lingerie was just very deceptively described and labeled, or you took one look and hit auto purchase. Because like I feel like you got to come out front and be like, 1/6 scale sexy lingerie.
It wasn't. So let's be clear. It was just some really sexy stockings, right? So I was like, this is something I can get that I don't really have to look too hard into the size. Okay. And let me tell you this, though. You're not wrong. I saw it and went, I'm buying these for her. I'm buying this from a lady. And just bought them immediately. Yeah. Looked at them when I went to return because I had to go to Amazon to like do the return. And it says clear as day, 1/6 opens with 1/6 scale for hot toys. Yeah. And I don't own any hot toys, but it was like, they were very clear. But my dick went, go daddy. And it just jumped on the buy now button.
Yeah, it's a tough sell to too. Because you're like, I guess they won't fit you, and guess I'll just have to put it on one of the Harley Quinn.
Dude, and I want to say this.
I know exactly what he's doing here.
Here's something that's kind of bothering me too. The pricing of sexy lingerie is the same price as what you'd think normal human size lingerie would be.
Right.
You'd think that they'd give you a discount on 1/6 scale. But that's it was $20, probably about the same price.
Nimble craftsmanship.
I think he might be why. Yeah.
It's obviously the material cost is lower, but human full-size human sexy lingerie, they're mass producing that. They got a factory cranking that out. The little 1/6 scale, they got a guy sewing that with his hands and shit. You got to pay the upcharge.
I thought what they were doing was just throwing it in the washing machine multiple times until it shrank down to 1/6.
Yeah, I'd say you could have given that to my grandma. She shrunk everything. But no, Brendo is right about that because I remember back, when I found that to be the case with exotic animals. When I had Nosy Clean Paws, my college girlfriend's hamster, and I thought when I took that thing to the vet, it'd be like $1 because it was so tiny. But no, it was like 4 times the price because I got to use all kinds of special needles.
Brendan.
Yeah. Well, Brendo.
Are you amongst those rare few that classify hamsters as exotic?
Well, here, I would not. That was the vet's words. I would not either. To me, that's a child's toy. But they fall under the umbrella of exotic. You put a hamster in there with white tigers, wild flamingos. Yeah, they're right in there.
Yeah, a Komodo dragon. What do you mean exotic, vet? This is not. You could even get this in the worst zoo. They don't even have a hamster in the worst fucking zoo in the world, and you're telling me this is exotic.
I thought the same thing, man. I was, Anthony's got an echo.
Well, there's a reason I typed it in, so to not alert you or ruin the podcast. But no, read those things out loud.
It's from, it's from Brendan right now.
Oh, cool.
Reverse polarity.
Reverse polarity situation. Now, Greg had earlier mentioned that my headphones are fucked up. Yes, they're falling apart at the seams. This happened to me yesterday. So we saw, I don't know why I'm telling you this story.
Can't wait.
It's
It's either really boring or really revealing.
Boring. No, it's so
good.
boring.
Yeah. Okay.
It's horribly boring. It's no point to this whatsoever.
I love it.
There was
More
a couple of days ago. Every now and again, we'll see a cockroach in the apartment. Not our doing. They're just we live on the ground floor.
Usually not people's doings. They don't usually invite them in for a hang. Sure, not your doing.
Not our doing.
Yeah,
I
one of our cockroaches.
I got a cockroach infestation, but I'll be honest, I brought him in. So I just brought a jar, dumped him on the floor.
I gotta call an exterminator. Hey, it's Mr. Exterminator. I got a bunch of cockroaches here. My doing, of course. My doing. Wasn't sure what would happen. I just a JanSport pack full of cockroaches I let loose into the fridge. And again, my doing. Call me the fool.
I thought they'd leave. They stuck around. Turns out they reproduced. This is on me.
So I'm calling really to ask you, what do you got to say to them to ask them to go? I mean, I've turned the lights out. Dinner was over, and they are just hanging. Went to bed, obviously. I said, well, yes, Julia and I'll go to bed. And they just hung around. Sorry.
Well, no, don't be sorry. This thing's got nothing, so that was good. Anyway, so a couple of days ago, she saw one on the stovetop, and she killed it. Julie gets a fire in her eyes when she sees a cockroach. That is terrifying and at the same time sexually exhilarating. But anyway, so she kills this thing. I'm out of the house. But then, I know that's what happened over there, but a few days ago. So I walk into the kitchen yesterday to get some, I think I was getting some nog.
Some nog. You're a weird dude. You gotta get some nog. I mean, like, you get some nog. That's even weird. You're just an asshole. You make the most unarrogant things so arrogant.
Yeah, I have a Fraser disease. So anyway, so I'm in there, and then I was looking at the stove, and I think I mentally made the connection, and then I felt this dangly thing come in my mouth. I thought a cockroach flew in my mouth, so I threw these headphones off of me, and yeah, like I said, end of story. So that's what's going on with this.
Here's what I like about you. You are a man who takes his time to paint a picture. Anyone else would have just said, this broken headphone? Dude, thing came off. There was a cockroach. I threw him. You took us start to finish. You turned this into an episode of Roots, right? 9 VHS tapes for this story. And I couldn't be happier. I loved it.
Yeah, that's how I was taught to tell stories. Don't worry about the point or the end.
You'll figure it out.
just really bulk up the middle parts. Yeah. I look like Rufio, I think.
When did you look like Rufio?
Rufio, did you ever see the movie Peter Pan, Brendan?
Oh, of course, I know Rufio. But I'm saying you're saying right now you look like Rufio?
Well, doesn't he have a long dangly earring?
Yes.
Oh, he does. Yeah. Rufio. I think he's dead, or is that a rumor?
He died in the movie.
Character or the real life guy?
The character's dead in the movie.
Well, I think both. I think Rufio, the actor, I may have heard he's dead, but I might be thinking of Jonathan Brandis, who's definitely dead.
He is. Yeah, they both might be dead. Oh, no, that kid, Rufio. I think I see him around every now and again.
Yep, that's Cheetah's brother you're talking about. I know who you're confusing him with. I confuse him with the same thing. Michael.
Dante Bosco is still alive.
Yeah.
What's he up to?
He's gained a lot of weight.
Oh, let's see a picture.
Not like me.
Yeah, let's see Rufio currently.
Greg
you have lost a lot of weight, Greg. You look great, by the way.
10 pounds. He'll let the whole world know about it on Instagram. He won't shut up about it.
Dude, you ever do one of these bits where you get a huge laugh of a thing you didn't realize was like a funny line, and then you go, all right, okay, I guess that's pretty funny.
Of course.
Dude, that's not that bad.
That's nothing. Yeah. The guy's probably 40. He looks great.
He's older than 40.
Yeah, older than 40. You're right. Yeah, you're right. We were
90.
little kids when that came out. He's probably 50.
Yeah, gotta be.
I was doing a joke about losing weight because I lost my weight because of my mindful masturbation and my hip thrusts into the bins, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm just telling everybody, I'm like, I'm not even doing this as a bit. I'm just doing it as a public service announcement. What is Anthony doing?
What? No, there's a speck of dirt. There's a speck of dirt on my screen, so I had to get rid of it.
Oh, all right. So I'm doing a show, and I was telling everybody about this mindful masturbation, how I lost 15 pounds. I'm like, and I just threw out the line. I was like, yeah, I lost all this weight, from this mindful masturbation and these bins, and I'm on Adderall. And then everyone just started laughing, and I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. It's probably the Adderall, not the sexual half hour I'm spending fucking bins every night. Almost every night.
Not true, dude.
I know.
Not true.
The core. I think
it's a good workout.
Yeah,
it's good for the core. I feel
if your heart rate's up, your heart rate's up. It doesn't matter if you're jogging on a track or fucking a pocket pussy between two bins. Exercise is exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do like that you would casually drop it as if they would just have a working knowledge of your bin fucking and mindful masturbation. That you just say it so flippantly.
Like you, I set them up. I mean, this was a 3-minute setup of them of me telling them what's going on in my life, and just to an astonished. We do the Rad DudeCast so much that you guys kind of I just talk and you guys what's coming, right? When you just drop this on a crowd of strangers in a restaurant, they were shocked. They were all just looking at me like, "Wait, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fucking bins. You guys don't get this? What's not to get? I'm taking my time. I'm having a good time." Anyway. Do you guys mind if I pivot into what I wanted to talk about?
Yes, I would love for that.
Yeah,
real quick, can I say a real quick story along the lines of Anthony's story? Sort of one of those ones that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And because your subject sounds meaningful. Yesterday, Amy gave me this thing, and she goes, could you figure out a way to get this converted for me? Because it's a play. It's a video of a play I was in high school, and I'd love to see it. And I go, no. And she goes, why? Do we not have the equipment? And I go, no, it's a micro cassette from an answering machine. So it's incapable of holding anything except 15 minutes of audio file. That's what you'll get. So I don't know who recorded this play for you, but they ripped you off. All right, Greg, to you.
Oh, no. I just wanted to, I told you guys about this.
Sorry. Most plays. Hey, sorry, we're not home right now, but please leave a message after the beep. Yeah, I think we're all familiar with Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to spoil the fun times we're having to bring up a sad topic, but I just really thought we should talk about it because I think we all have a connection to this. Past week, we heard the Creek in the Cave went out of business. She closed the doors forever.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But we all have that in common. Anthony and I ran a show there for six or 7 years. Brendan did the show after our show. Remember that?
Right. Yeah. Chest hair. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just figured we talk a little bit about the Creek in the Cave because we, it's such a crazy thing because we love that place. I loved that and hated that place. You loved it because the lady would let you do whatever the fuck. Rebecca, who I love, would let you do whatever the fuck you want. Anthony and I ran a play. We did a superhero play. There was an hour that she let us do. We did a show where we just turned all the lights out and we did stand up in the dark. And it was cool and weird. I was fucked up all the time. And then you'd also have the, that was the good. And then the bad was, sometimes no one would be there and you'd just do a show for no one. But, I thought I just want to figure maybe we go over some fun stories about the Creek if you have any.
Well, I got one that's not so fun. I'm probably directly responsible for the closure. One time, me and Jim Twos were running Chest Hair. That was the name of our show. That show ended about 8 years ago. Nori Davis still doesn't know my name and just calls me Chest Hair. But,
Nori.
I think he does know my name. I think he just likes calling me Chest Hair. That's what I tell myself to feel good. Anyway, there's 3 people in the audience. Kind of this bundled up, sort of weird looking guy starts standing in the back Well, me and Twos are up on stage bantering between comics. He's all bundled up. It's wintertime. He's got a big parka on, a hat, and we get off stage. We bring up the comic. I go back there to be like, hey, man, you can come sit down. It's Louis C.K. I go, oh, shit, you want to go up? He goes, it's a little light. And then he walked out and never came back to the Creek in the Cave in the history of his life. So that was the one shot the Creek had at Louis being there. But maybe in hindsight, good thing. I don't know.
Did a tremendous amount of slobber just fall from your mouth?
Yeah, it's huge.
It happens.
Huge.
It happens.
It happens with me. You'll get that. You should see the microphone
St.
cover.
Bernard.
You should see the cover of my microphone, and I've never seen this happen to anyone else that has a wind guard on their microphone. It's coated in a layer of saliva. It's disgusting. But yes, that was one Creek story I have.
Yeah, for me, they kind of blend together in terms of I can't think of anything like in particular. It's just more for me. It was more of this feeling of just total chaos, which I loved.
Yeah, nothing in particular. Not like I gave you this topic to talk about a week and a half ago.
Well, I forgot.
You only met your girlfriend there. We've only done 8 years of TV of shows there.
Yeah, well, give me some time to cycle through.
Sure,
I must have missed this text.
4 days.
I must have missed this text. I'm sorry. I must have missed this, Greg. But I will say this. I think the three of us, because the Creek. Okay, so for those of you listening that aren't familiar with the New York comedy scene, the Creek in the Cave is a Mexican restaurant with an attached black box theater and a basement bar lounge area. The black box theater was the main comedic area. There was also some comedy happening in the basement, mostly open mics. And it was kind of what you would call the hub of the alt comedy scene for quite a few years, I would say. We, the three of us, have the honor, and this is a stage that Murder Fist has performed on, tons of, what do you call it? The Wildcats, tons of outlandish acts. I think the three of us hold the honor of doing the only sketch that got stopped mid-sketch for being too sexual. Remember, we wrote in like a day. I don't know what it was for. It was a sketch that
it's for Underbelly.
Yeah, it somehow had Greg like making us put a gun in our mouth, and then R. Kelly came on, and we had to start masturbating.
Yes.
But both Anthony and I just, being the actors that we are, just had our hands on our dicks, just fully caressing our penises with Greg having a gun to our heads.
Yeah.
And the sound guy stopped it, was like, you can't do this.
But he did let it go on for a little bit. Well, yeah. Oh, he's a coward. That goes without saying. And now memories are starting to come back to me, and now I remember what I wanted to say and stuff. But I do remember that in particular. It was a sketch for Reed Failer and Andrew Short had this show that began in Ohio called Underbelly, where stand-ups would come on, and it was. I mean, the Creek already was like, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
nobody's here except for one cat, and he's not even paying attention.
Yeah,
no. So do whatever. There's people. The only people here, it's a stray cat and 4 guys from Fresh Direct who need an alibi.
Yeah. and a strange bicycle man that never misses a show.
Oh yeah,
you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he'd give you a sticker at the end that said like laser nuts or whatever, and he'd be like, "I'm trying to get my company off the ground." And he'd be like, "I don't see a company here. I don't even know what that means." But anyway, so that was the scene, and then Underbelly was I think, consistently, aside from Wildcats was a show with Jeff Wesselschmidt, Eli Sowers, and Joel Wachowski, which they would do a stand-up show, but inside the stand-up show was a narrative. And then the narrative was gruesome. It was like it was South Park, but just not palatable at all. Mm-hmm. It was something topical, but just disgusting. I watched,
usually 9/11 based.
Yeah, 9/11 based, abortion based, hot topic themed, Cum based goes without saying.
course.
But Underbelly was a show which was a little bit more structured in the sense where it was book stand-ups, and you were given kind of like 5 minutes to do whatever, but it couldn't be stand-up. I think that was the premise of the show. So the three of us were booked on it. I forget the basics of what we wanted to do. We only knew that in the end it evolved into, yes, Greg, us either voluntarily shoving a gun in our mouth or Greg holding us at gunpoint, and then choir behind us while R. Kelly came on, and then we started masturbating. We were in speed. I put a picture of it on Instagram.
No. This is what's crazy. This is what's so crazy about the Creek in the Cave. That is something different, and I don't remember what that picture is from.
That was from Peggy's show.
Oh, you're right.
You're
show. I don't remember what it was. Right.
Like her birthday show. We came out and we gave her a 72 pump salute, I think.
Yes.
Which was we come out and we just go 72 pumps.
Yeah.
And we did 72. And it's a very long time.
Yes. And so for the masturbation one, I do remember us starting to masturbate. And I remember going like, I'm in the bit, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing this, and it didn't feel like the Creek was such a place, and this is gonna sound horrible. The Creek was such a place where it was like art in the 60s, you know what I mean? Where it was like, if you're masturbating in public, you don't feel like you're committing a crime. You feel like it's high, like you feel high art. You feel, you feel like Warhol. So, and the sound guy was fine with it. And I think after
the sound guy was Gigi Allen.
Yeah. And the sound guy, after like, I don't know, maybe I want to say this is being generous, but maybe 30 seconds started to see it with legal eyes and shut it off. But it seems so par for the course that it just let it go. But that's a great way to put it. Where that wasn't even what I posted on Instagram. And what I posted on Instagram is Greg and Brendan and I lined up in Speedos with whistles, and drowned with eyes wide shut masks and top hats. with people singing behind us. That was even the time that we're talking about. So
I remember looking over at you, Anthony, as you started to masturbate and going, how does he not know he doesn't have to actually be masturbating? Like I remember looking and going, I'm like, this guy's really masturbating. Why is he really masturbating? We take this very easily.
We both were, and I think there was this, what Anthony was saying, there was this art moment where in my head I was going, we're doing it. We're really doing it. Like this is method, you know?
Yes. This is what I wanted. I think I talked to Greg about this, and this is what I loved about the Creek more than anywhere else. And I think this holds true is that even other places, like you're talking about, like the hubs of all comedy, like even like UCB, they wanted to cultivate a look. They were going for something. The Creek asked nothing of you.
Nothing.
They just said, be whoever you are, throw a bunch of shit on the wall. Nobody's watching.
Right.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. And that level of fostered such a level of freedom that all happened under one roof, whether it be people telling like disjoined one-liners, whether it be people dressing up in Joe Pera dressing up in ridiculous outfits and doing like it just everybody was there in that moment doing exactly what they wanted. And young and really, really hammered on bad margaritas. I mean, it was just, it was a perfect storm for a piece of folklore.
I have so many specific memories of just watching audience members break. Just like just getting up going, I'm out. I can't watch. This is fucking crazy. Anthony and I were part of us. We did Savage Animals, our show, but then we combined with the group Sketch Jerk Practice, and we were in a sketch group called Jerk Practice. And I think I may have told this story before, but it's just one of my all-time favorites. We were doing a sketch, and in between sketches, the sketch groups would have to change. So we would write these like interval sketches that would buy the other people time to get changed for the sketches.
Yeah.
So that they can come out and do the next sketch. Now it's Hans Freiwald. I forgot how to spell his last name. Freiwald, Casey Van Heel, DeVito, you guys had just done a sketch. I don't remember what it was. You had to go back to get ready for the next sketch, and what we had in between was I was supposed to come out as the mummy stripper, and the idea is I was dressed like a mummy with the wrapping around, and I would slowly, to stripper music, unwrap the ace bandages.
Yeah,
like, that's like a funny thing.
Interstitials between like larger sketches.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This is like 2 minutes. Buy them 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, by slowly unwrapping the mummy garb to music while they can get dressed. So I run off stage to get in the mummy gear, and Casey goes, "Here's your ace bandage," and hands me 4 feet of ace bandage. Nowhere near enough ace bandage to cover my fat body. And I go, what the fuck am I going to do with this? So I only have enough to wrap my face, and Hans goes, "Fuck it, use toilet paper." Throws a roll of toilet paper at me, and I start to wrap my body in toilet paper as like you guys are getting ready to come off for the sketch. I can't remember how that was going on. So they get off the sketch. I'm now wrapped in toilet paper. I come to walk out. The door paneling latches the toilet paper, rips all of it off of my body. And now I walk on stage with I want to say completely naked, but I had like very skimpy underwear on because it was comedically funnier.
Yeah.
I just walk on stage in like a banana hammock with just my face wrapped like Darkman. And I just have to start dancing. And this woman stands up and she goes, "Why is this happening?" She gets up and she just, "Fuck this. I'm out. She leaves, but I can't get off the stage because I have to buy 2 or 3 minutes of Casey and you guys putting on your spacesuits or whatever the fuck.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was mortified because I just had to stand there with my naked body, with my face covered, and just kind of dance. People are going, "Leave, stop it. We don't want this. No one wants this. Isn't good. It's dirty. It's the Me Too movement hadn't happened, so people didn't know they didn't have to take this kind of abuse yet." Yeah. And I was just like, and Rebecca is just in the back laughing her fucking ass off.
Yeah.
She kind of like, "Oh, I saw what happened here."
Yeah.
And, and like, you'd think you'd get fired for that, but no.
No. We got free drinks.
Free drinks.
That's what we got. That was, yeah, because early on too, I mean, we were, flat broke, and, Brendan also ran a show there for a long time. But, flat broke, there would be not a lot of people in the audience. Greg ran our show, and then you were given like 20 drink tickets.
20.
And
then the bartender would go, "Add a drink tickets?"
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me. They never meant anything.
We don't use real money in this place.
Well, and not only that, for me, it was such a, like, it was so great. Because I think when you don't drink, people don't really pay attention to this kind of thing when they drink. But for me, it was like they always had ice water. They had like 5 different jugs of ice water throughout the place. Yeah. Probably because everyone there was high all the time. Yeah, but for a sober person, it was great because I could always be drinking water. Second of all, they had pinball. So it was like, I don't have to, I got social anxiety and I'm sober. Great. I'll go fucking play pinball and drink water and then do my set. Like it was the best, man. It was like a clubhouse, It
was a clubhouse. Yeah.
It's interesting because now it's like, you hear I would listen to podcasts before I did comedy. I don't listen to a lot of comedic podcasts anymore, but you would hear about like Rafifi. Right. And like, what were the other ones? Like
Luna Lounge.
Yeah. Yeah, you would hear that stuff that was before my time. And like, it's like for us, it was the Creek. It was the Eastville open mics,
Right.
It was even like the 4:00 Bar 82 open mic.
Oh my
Remember
God,
those?
Brandon, absolutely.
4:00. We would go there before Eastville. And it was just like, what are we doing? It's daylight. This bar's not open.
Oh my God, Brian, I have such specific memories of being on stage at Bar 82 at like 4:15 with a bunch of grown men who are unemployed and divorced.
But I almost fought someone every time.
I remember
every time was almost me being like, "I'm going to drag this fucking guy outside and bash his brains in," and I just can't go to that open mic anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the creek for a little bit. I have one memory, and I was telling this to Greg the other night when Greg and I were on stage doing Savage Animal, and this was a time, and like you were saying, like where you would hear about these things. It was now looking back on it, it's like, oh, I was in one of those things, and I feel very special to be a part of that. Where it was like, whatever that like 2008 to 2015, whatever that chunk of years was the heyday of this thing, and the people there, then went on to be, some of them like super famous, So it was like very much like, hey, this represented a point of time in comedy and the comedians that were there in this particular art form, and this was the backdrop for that. So, but I have one specific memory where it was, we have very, like at this point, you could get very, very famous people on a show at Tuesday night for nobody in the audience, and they'd happily do it. So, like I said, Greg and I were Greg more so than me, but Greg was just hammered on margaritas. Greg, we come wedding out. Drunk. Wedding drunk. We come out. We're about to introduce the last comic. Greg is lying on the ground, shirt off. He has a laminate around his neck that is not his name. It's just a found laminate in the back. Screaming, couldn't introduce the next comic because he kept having us do "This Is a Radio Message" by R. Kelly every couple. Radio message. Yeah. And I had to be like, don't worry, Hannibal, we're going to bring you up soon. It was incredible. So a place that I don't think that you could really create if you wanted to. I think just happenstance of so many factors, negligence being one of them.
Right.
What
a major player.
What brilliance negligence can create.
Rebecca was like, I had such a, like, she was, and this goes like, this is a compliment, like such a crazy person, but also like a loving person and also unpredictable. Like I have moments, dude, I have a moment. So I just want to like how we started at the Creek was I had met DC Pearson, who was doing Derek Comedy, which was DC Pearson,
Dominic Geerks and Donald Glover.
And Donald Glover. And I just like, we are kind of new to the city, and I go, hey, DC, man. I was like, hey, man, you guys are really funny. I was like, I'd love to do your show, because he had a show called This Is New York. And I was like, getting on shows was so hard back then. Every comic was like, send me a tape, all that bullshit. He just goes, man, come by Tuesday. You're on. Like, it was just like that easy. Yeah. I do the show, and he was like, man, that was like really. He was like, dude, you're really funny. Come back anytime. And so I would do that show every now and again. And then DC just goes, hey, you just want this show? And then because Donald Glover was getting famous, they canceled the show. And that's how Savage Animal started. That's how I met Rebecca. We start doing, and that was just like, I just wanted to give a little history real quick on how we started there. But then this is about Rebecca, is that like she pulled me, when I first started, like she pulled me aside and she was like, hey, like, I just want you to know, like, you're really talented, and she goes, you are going to have a very hard time in this business. I don't remember why she said that, but she was like, you're going to have a very hard time in this business.
She watched you read.
Yeah. But she was like, but you're really, really funny. And whatever. Like she pulled me aside to say that.
Yeah.
And then after knowing me there's multiple memories of just seeing her in the bar and she ignores me. And you're just like, wait a minute, you're like, what is happening here? But then that's also the moment where I kind of realized, like, oh, drugs, right? Like sometimes people are on drugs and you don't, like, they're in their own head. I just thought she hated me. But then she's always like, so she was like this woman who's been so nurturing and caring to me. And then also sometimes was just like losing her mind because, Matt Wayne almost set the place on fire. They would just blow. They would do that show, This Is Hell, and they would
See You in Hell.
See You in Hell, and they would come out and shoot fireballs out of their mouth in a closed space, and it was like, you're gonna burn this place to the ground.
The number of illegal acts that took place on that stage. I wish there was just a highlight reel of breaking the building code on the Creek stage. But yeah, I mean, that's same thing with Rebecca for me. She's done so much for me, but I also thought she hated me for 4 years. So it's like, it's hard. But she created such a special place. And just this, while we're talking about it, to get it down for posterity's sake, for those of you that don't really know, and you guys were there a little bit before me, so correct me if I'm wrong, but basically what happened was Rebecca did not buy The Creek and the Cave with the intention of it being a comedy club. I guess she comes from a theater background. I think they were going to do music there, and then there ended up being like noise problems or something like that. And from what I understand is John F. O'Donnell came by one day and asked if he could do a comedy open mic, and then that led to the guys from Donald Glover's guys coming in. Is that the story? Is that the kind of the how it became a comedy venue? Is that true?
So I think the music thing is true. I'm not 100%. I mean, like I've heard that, but I never heard it from Rebecca's mouth. So that was like rumor. Then so they did a lot of improv, and they had one open mic, Kingdom of Heaven, where John F. O'Donnell was doing the open mic, and then Dominic, they did that. Derek Comedy did their show. This is New York, and then we were the third comedy show, I believe, that ever happened. Savage Animal was like the third stand-up comedy show.
Wow,
that ever happened at the Creek. And like 90% sure that's true.
Yeah, I know we were very early. We were early on in terms of like a reoccurring show that was there. I mean, Kingdom of Heaven was this like staple open mic, and then there was maybe a few more open mics, but like I don't know the exact numbers, but we were pretty early on in terms of having a reoccurring show there.
Savage Animal was definitely, if not the first, definitely one of the first book shows I did in New York, for sure, because I met you guys very early on through open mics, and like, you know, for those of you that don't know the scene, that's a big deal, man. Like, and now it seems like nothing because you're like, oh fuck, another bar show, you know. Like, I still like them, but when you're first there and just doing open mics, like, god damn, could I get booked on something, you know? So that was a big deal to be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to the Creek, I'm booked on Savage Animal, you know, like. And Savage Animal was cool because like it was like everything else at the Creek, like some nights it would be packed the fuck out, you know, like, and then sometimes one guy, like, you didn't know, but like they were never all bad. Like sometimes just for whatever chest hair, sometimes we had a full crowd and we wouldn't know why. Nobody knew why.
Well, Anthony and I had a few tricks in our sleeves that we always incorporated. One, we loved comedy, so we would always watch every comedian and legitimately laugh hard. Remember, like Jesse Pop, who's like a great comedian. He did the show almost every week, and he would just keep coming. And Anthony and I would watch him and actually laugh. And then there was I had this scam that I would do every now and again. Is that I don't remember if you remember. I would do this in the beginning. I would book improv groups and then put them on at the end. So the improv groups would have to watch the stand-up comedians. So we would have like this thing, and then like just all the comedians would leave, and the improv group would up there doing whatever the fuck they were doing for the end. But that was like a trick I was pulling for a while.
That's a great trick.
It's good. I think the improv groups get kind of hip to it, and they they either trickle in later or only like two show up, or they just kind of stone you for the whole time, and then they go up and do their scene. That was a great idea, and then it always got like a little there was like a little bit of tension, I remember.
Well, it depended on the improv group, because if it was like cool, I remember it was like groups that we liked and they were cool, they would hang and they would watch and it would be fun. Like Murder Fist would come and they were like awesome and cool and they would hang. But then there were ones who just like thought they were good and they thought they were like big time and they would act shitty, and then we would just walk out and there'd just be no one except these three fucking idiots on stage doing whatever the fuck they were doing. Yeah,
because sometimes too it would be our improv group, because we were still doing improv early on. So sometimes it would be our improv group who sat through a stand-up show, and they were usually cool because it was you know what I mean. And then we would go up and do improv at the end. I remember those moments, seeing the stand-ups be like, wait a minute, these guys are spies. You know what I mean? Like they've been improvisers the whole time. Like I remember having that like, man, I feel like I fleeced you moment.
But did you technically do? I know I wouldn't say technically, because you did stand up a few times when we were in Jersey.
Sure.
But do you think you did more? You did improv before stand up?
Yes, much more improv before I did stand up. Absolutely. Because I only did stand up a couple. I mean, I was writing jokes, but I only did stand up a couple times in Jersey, and then we did improv like pretty solely for about a year. I mean, I hosted the show with you, but I wasn't doing stand up until like probably like 6 or 8 months into hosting that show.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I had done stand up in Jersey. We did improv, and I was still trying to do my like find my shows, and you'd come to them because I remember doing. I did. Too Cool for School with Nick Turner.
Yeah, you did Nick's show with Nick and Jason's show in Greenpoint. Too Cool for School, and then there was Hugs, which was Zach Sims, Zach Broussard, and maybe Neil Stasny, I think. But yeah.
Well,
all I was doing was trying to get on M Whiplash.
And then Brendan. Oh, sure. I think we've already exhausted that topic. Yeah, and then Brendan came in like a firestorm with his great Clue joke.
I did have that great Clue joke. Somebody took that from me, I think, and it was like not a good enough joke that I never said anything. So, because I was kind of like, well, if that you ever have a joke and then someone does like a similar enough joke, and you're like, well, if that person thought of it, then I don't want my joke anymore.
Right.
Like, but I'm glad I didn't get that text. I'm glad you brought it up, Greg, because I don't know, the Creek. I met a lot of people at the Creek, and it meant a lot to me, that place. And I wasn't there as much. I mean, obviously with the quarantine, but even before that, none of us were there as much. As you get busy, you start being on the road. You're not really doing the mics. And when I'd go, I'd feel less at home because there's a bunch of younger kids I didn't know, so, but man, there was a time when that was sort of my comedy home, and it's sad. And I just hope Rebecca lands on her feet, and I know she will. And
well, that's the thing I keep saying about her is like, I keep thinking she's dead, and I message her. I'm like, you're not dead. You're alive. She'll still be around. And she'll be doing whatever she does. She's always got her fingers in other pots. And I wouldn't be surprised if some other iteration of it comes back when quarantine kind of sees its way through. But like the place is dead, and it is like a funeral. But I keep forgetting the actual person and the people that I would see there aren't dead. Like we can still text those people and all that.
Yeah. Like it wasn't. Well, Brendan, to go back to it wasn't a text. Greg and I were just hanging out the other night, and he mentioned it. That's all.
No, I put it in the group text.
Just the topics for the podcast to each other. Great.
No, I definitely put it in the group. I'm like 99% sure I put it in the group text.
Oh, maybe you did. I might have. Then I overlooked it. My apologies. But for me, I would always say the closing of the Creek to me was more than a building close. It was a point in time definitively ended. That's I think what was so sad to me, but also beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. It's the end of like your childhood, kind of. Like, as much as I started in Jersey as bullshit, it was like really it was the Creek that allowed me to kind of find who I was. I don't know if you're getting that echo, but it's driving me fucking crazy.
I can't hear it.
I can't hear it. Once I put headphones on, that should have taken care of it if it was coming from my end.
Who knows what's going on? Maybe it's fine. It's funny that we've been doing this podcast almost just as long, and audio issues are still rampant as ever.
No, they're usually good. My fucking goddamn fucking.
No, I'm not blaming. I'm just saying it's funny.
No, I know. I'm furious.
Definitely say the Rad DudeCast carries the Creek spirit with it. At all times. But that'll do it for the free guy.
All right.
Yep.
Do it. Take it away, Anthony.
So that has been the free episode of the Rad DudeCast. You know that. You're at the end of it. And as always, you can watch the episode on YouTube if you're not doing that already. That's a good time. And if you want 3 bonus episodes every week, you can go to patreon.com/Rad DudeCast. And please follow us on Instagram at the Rad DudeCast. And like they both said, we have all kinds of great new merch available on teespring.com/store/Rad DudeCast. We got hoodies. We got zip-up hoodies. We got shirts. We got tank tops. We got maskinis. We do not have thongs. Contrary to what Brendan would like. And we're gonna soon be doing more specific designs. If Greg can, decide on an artist that he likes, we will have the Anthony collection up and running.
Waiting on my brother.
Yeah. So the plan is, like Greg and Anthony were just saying, we are going to have like really specific, very cool stuff up there, ongoing and on an ongoing basis. But right now we have that brand, the updated wolf logo. It's awesome. So again, I'll reiterate it one more time: teespring.com/stores/Rad DudeCast. Check it out. No thongs. They will. That's on the table.
You can cut your own thong out of a t-shirt.
You could make one if you wanted to.
It's just like a shoelace.
Oh, and then does anyone have shows? I'm sure some people got some shows.
Mine got canceled.
I have one that isn't canceled yet. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll be at Mohegan Sun, the Comics Roadhouse Comedy Club. It's going to be sick, and you're going to get sick. We're all going to be. Come out. Oh, also, come out. Also, every Friday, I'm doing Mandalorian recap videos where we're recapping the episodes. Anthony was on the last one. I think he'll be on the next one again. He keeps saying it's his day off.
Seems fair. Anthony's on the last one. Trying to find a guy for the next one. Probably Anthony.
I don't watch the show. Do you know anything about Star Wars?
I know everything about. I'll learn. I'll read a book.
Yeah, Brendan, I'll figure it out, man. Schedule permitted, I'll be there. We'll see.
And Mandalorian recap videos. I'm very excited about them. They've been very funny. 99% sure Anthony will be there, but it's his day off, so who knows?
Load management. I've said it before. I got to be good and rested for the big one, our podcast. And then November 19th, myself, I will be at Soul Joel's Outdoor Comedy Extravaganza in Royersford, Pennsylvania on Thursday, November 19th. And then also December 9th, I'll be at Helium Comedy Club inside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And then December 11th and 12th, I'll be at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Illinois. Nope, Indiana. But probably, maybe one out of those four will get canceled due to the viral spike.
Great.
See you guys later.
The Rad DudeCast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.